Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by Peter Mathews, who's a professor of political science from Cypress College in Los Angeles, and he joins me now. Peter, talk to me how this is going to impact U.S. foreign policy.
Well, it seems to many other countries, including those on the Security Council and the Human Rights Council, that the U.S. wants to go it alone, that America First policy of Trump's, as he's announced it, means America first and the rest of the countries are out. So this is a very negative development, in my view, to withdraw from the Council. Instead, the United States should have stayed in the Council, as it did under President Obama, and worked to reform the various policies coming from the Council. More or less, the United States, more than that, the United States itself is under, right now, criticism, heavy criticism, for how its outrageous policy of tearing these children away from their parents at the border. It's against any human rights. It's a big violation. And the U.S. being criticized is what caused President Trump today to finally say, we're out of it. The United States is going to pull out of the Council rather than accepting the criticism and changing the policy to protect these children and their parents. So it's a very egregious situation right now. And I think it's negative for all around for the United States and for the other countries who are in the Council who want to stay together and work on the human rights issues that are so important.
What do you think it would have taken for the U.S. to stay?
It would probably have taken what the administration was talking about, is the condemnation of the Human Rights Council's actions toward Israel, to remove from the agenda that's on there permanently regarding the Israeli violations in the occupied territories or the Gaza Strip. And that had to be removed according to the United States, but it wasn't going to be removed as long as Israel continued to conduct certain types of activities that were considered to be in violation of human rights by the Council. So it was a situation where neither side would budge. But the Trump administration, I think, should have been much more accommodating, as President Obama had been, in order to work things out. And in the case of the situation with the United States today, the U.S. has lost a lot of what's called soft power, influence in the world for our own, the United States' own leadership in human rights, in democracy, in regular elections, those kinds of things the world used to look up to us to. Now they're looking down at us, especially with what President Trump has been doing to push us in this direction.
What's the fallout? What's the impact that this is going to have on the Council itself? Some U.S. lawmakers have said it's going to have an even, harsher impact on Israel. You had Nikki Haley already accusing the Council of an anti-Israel bias.
Well, certainly it's not going to help for the U.S. to have withdrawn and then leave the Council up to whatever it wants to do. But there is a situation that we have to mention. UN Resolution 242 calls for a withdrawal from the occupied territories of Israel and for the right of Palestinians and Israelis to live in peace in their own territory with security. And UN Resolution 242 should be adhered to, and the Trump administration is not doing that. And if the Human Rights Council points out the violations of human rights in the occupied territories or in Gaza, and possibly the West Bank, but especially Gaza, then action should be taken by Israel to ameliorate those circumstances and to come in a measured way, the right way for the whole world to see that the United States and Israel are even-handed, and the United States especially even-handed in bringing about peace in the Middle East, especially in the Middle East and Palestine and Israel. That has to be seen in an even-handed way, but the United States seems to be more one-sided, and in going against the Human Rights Council, I think they've shown their hand, in a sense, in a very negative way.
All right, Peter Mathews in Los Angeles, always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for your insight.